Your portfolio is your presentation card and is an essential tool to make money as a commercial artist. Without it, no client or customer will hit the contact button and hire you. However, most portfolios don't serve the purpose of attracting paid assignments. In this episode, I will tell you why and how to avoid the pitfalls. Listen up. Hello and welcome to another episode of Open Studio. I'm your host, Martina Flor, and in this solo show, I share strategies and tactics that you can use to advance your career as a lettering artist or illustrator. Today, we'll be speaking about why most portfolios don't work and what you can do to avoid those mistakes. Now, if you already have a portfolio online, this episode is going to be really useful in terms of helping you tweak things that will get you better results. Or if you're starting your portfolio from scratch, this episode will give you the 3 main mistakes that you need to avoid in order to have your portfolio up and running and serving its purpose, right? Before we get into that, I want to tell you that last week we released an episode with Kevin Cantrell. Kevin is a lettering artist and brand strategist, and it was a really insightful episode around how to build your business and how to develop your own style. So I recommend you to check that out. It's episode number 94. And prior to that, on episode number 92, we spoke about strategies to share your work so that you can attract paid assignments. So in that episode, we agreed on the fact that, in order to attract paid assignments, you need to show your work, right? You need to show what you're capable of doing through sharing your work in a way that it looks professional, that resonates with your ideal clients, and showcases what you're capable of doing. Now, today, we're going to go a step further and we're going to speak about why most portfolios don't work and what are the 3 things that you want to avoid when doing a portfolio. Now, let's agree on the fact that if you want to make a living as an artist today, you need to have an online portfolio. You need to have an online presence. And a portfolio is the ideal way to do that because yes, there's social media, and I know that many artists would say, well, I have my work on Instagram, right? But an online portfolio first is your real estate, is your piece of real estate so that the domain belongs to you. It will probably have your name or the name of your business, and it belongs to you. So if Mark Zuckerberg buys Instagram and decides to put all the accounts down, your portfolio won't disappear and you will still have a place where you can show your work. So I will always recommend you to have an online portfolio, right? And the other reason why it's important to have an online portfolio is that it is like inviting someone into your world. In an online portfolio, you can not only showcase the work that you do, but you can also tell your story, the kind of services you offer, and the kind of people you are serving with your work, right? And if you don't have an online presence, you don't get to tell that story. And, clients don't get to discover your work and how you can help them with your skills, right? Now, the problem is that because of our nature, that we are very creative and we like things that are surprising and unique, oftentimes we, as aspiring artists or illustrators, we tend to invest a lot of time into the wrong things. And I speak here in relation to crafting our portfolio. We oftentimes focus on creating the perfect menu bar that it's animated and has flowers or details to it, or we focus on coming up with a very innovative navigation strategy, or we invest a lot of time into creating animations for our website. And the truth is that our website should be really clear, really easy for our clients to navigate, and should only showcase a few things that are important for those visiting, right? It should be, first of all, it should be really clear, right? Because if it's not clear, clients or potential clients will be confused, and a confused client doesn't hire you. A confused client doesn't click the contact button and schedules a call, right? And this is the real problem of investing time into the wrong things, that at the end of the day, you will invest time into building a portfolio that is really innovative, really crazy, has a lot of animations, a lot of details, and perhaps it may be really attractive for your peers, but it's not efficient in terms of getting you jobs, right? Which is at the end of the day what will make you money and allow you to make a living with your work, right? And this is why we're here, because we want to avoid those mistakes and invest time into the right things that make our portfolio a tool to get assignments, right? So let's get right down to the topic of today, which is these 3 things that you need to avoid when building a portfolio. The number 1 mistake that I see other artists doing is that they get too techy. So they decide that they're gonna build their portfolio, and they say, okay, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna learn HTML and Java, and I'm gonna build this portfolio. And the truth is that they invest a lot of time into figuring things out and cracking the code of the internet. And at the end of the day, the website doesn't look entirely good. It is not optimized for mobile. It doesn't work on different formats. And at the end of the day, it doesn't serve its purpose, right? So, and I know that this happened to me back in the years when I put online my first portfolio, which was like 15 years ago or more. I remember that at that time there were no portfolio builders, and I had some knowledge of HTML, and I decided to go, oh yeah, there was Dreamweaver. So there was Dreamweaver from Adobe, and I had some knowledge of Dreamweaver. So I used Dreamweaver in combination with some HTML code knowledge that I had, and I set myself the goal of building my own portfolio. And at the end of the day, I invested so much time into building that portfolio, which I could have accomplished in a much easier way by using other tools, right? And nowadays, especially, there's so many tools out there to build stunning portfolios that also use proven schemes or frameworks, right? They know, they are made by people who have a lot of experience at creating websites, so they know where the navigation bar should be. They know what are the needs of a website. They know how to optimize the building blocks of that website for optimal navigation. So this is a all done for you package that by just a few bucks per month you can use to build a portfolio in weeks, really. So there's tools like Squarespace is one of my favorites. This is the tool that I used to build my online shop, and it was really easy to use. They had a built-in for those that are interested also in building online shops for their website. They had building payment methods and cards, so it really solved most of the issues of a simple online shops like the one I wanted to build. So there's Squarespace, which I have tried and is really useful, really intuitive. In my own business, in my own website, I personally use WordPress, which is also a website builder. And on top of that, I use Simplis, which is as well a website builder that integrates with WordPress. And what Simplis does is that it makes the process of creating the website really intuitive. The interface is much more friendly. So I use those tools to build my portfolio, and I don't invest any time into cracking codes. And if I need something special, if I need a special bit of code, or if I need to change the styles or any special need that my website has, I will just ask a professional to do that for me that one time, right? And what I see is that oftentimes I see other artists just skipping that step, or because they want to avoid that extra subscription to a website builder, because most of these website builders, they work on a subscription basis. So you pay 10, 12 bucks per month, or 10, 20 bucks per month, and you have your website hosted on their servers, and you have the website builder. And in order to avoid that, many artists or many students that I work with, they try to figure the HTML or building their site on their own, and they spend months or maybe years into building their portfolio. Because they go down that road, their portfolio never gets to be online, which at the end of the day is making them lose money because they don't get to connect with their ideal clients. So if you're thinking of building your portfolio, don't try to get too techie. Just use any portfolio builder out there. I mentioned a few: Squarespace, WordPress, Semplice. You can there's Wix. There's tons of portfolio builders that you can use, and for a few bucks per month, you can save yourself a lot of time, which translates into money, and also headaches. You can really build with a portfolio builder. You can really have your site up and running in, seriously, 2 weeks. So mistake number one you want to avoid is not to get too techie, and go and find a tool that will help you build your portfolio in a few clicks. So the mistake number two is to try to reinvent the wheel, right? And I see this often in online portfolios, that either they're too complicated to navigate, you cannot find your way around, the navigation bar is in different places that you will expect, or there's a lot of animations and you are kind of overwhelmed, you don't know where to go, or the font or the text is overlapped with pictures and all of this stuff. And whenever I see a portfolio that looks that way, I feel that it's designed to wow your peers rather than to wow your clients, right? Because yes, as a creative, I would personally go and say like, oh my God, this is so interesting, this is so new, right? But in terms of getting your client to understand your message clearly, to understand, to resonate with your work, and to find their way around the website, it doesn't work, right? So your website should be clear to navigate and easy for clients to find their way around and to contact you. If your clients or potential clients that visit your website cannot find their way around in the first 5-10 seconds, they will leave. And this means that they won't contact you, they won't hire you, right? And you are missing opportunities because you're just designing your website in a way that is just too complex for them to understand. This is called analysis paralysis. If someone that is visiting your website needs to think too much about what they need to do, where they need to find what, then they will say like, oh no, this is too complicated, I will just leave, right? Or they won't take action at all. They won't contact you, right? So make it simple, clean, and easy to navigate. This is paramount when you're creating a website. With your website, what you want is to communicate clearly what you do, who you work for, and to have them see your amazing work showcase in a way that resonates with your ideal clients, right? So again, the mistake number two that I see often and that you want to avoid is to try to reinvent the wheel. Don't make avoid really complex navigation systems or menu bars that are at the bottom on the sides of the website. Try to make the site very easy and clear to navigate for your potential clients. And the mistake number 3 is that they try to include everything, right? I visit portfolios that are really overwhelming because, the artist wants to include their work, their Instagram account, the tweets, the pictures of their dog, a story about something, the latest podcast they recorded with this or that person. And at the end of the day, the portfolio is so confusing. You don't know whether that person is a podcaster, is an artist, is an influencer on Instagram. You don't really know what to do, right? And this goes back again to the concept of analysis paralysis. If someone visiting your website doesn't understand what to do, where to go, what are the next steps for them after visiting your website, which should be contacting you, by the way, then they will leave. Right? Your site needs to do 3 very important things so that the client will contact you. The thing number 1 is that you need to state clearly for whom you work, what problem do you solve, and how you solve it, right? So for instance, if you're an illustrator, you need to state clearly who do you work for? Who are the people that you can better serve with your work, right? What is your focus, right? So for instance, if you're an illustrator that works primarily for publishing houses, then state that clearly on your website. And hopefully you will state that above the fold, right? The fold is like the first thing that you see on your website. And you will want to use a headline right there that says, I'm an illustrator. I help publishing houses and authors create covers that stand out on the bookshelves. I'm not a copywriter, but something that tells them, okay, what do you do, right? What is it? Who are the people you serve with your work? Authors and publishing houses, and how do you do that? How do you solve their problem? Which is, they want their covers to stand out in the crowd of covers out there. So you help them by creating work that is so compelling that, their covers stand out in the crowd. You need to state that on above the fold of your website, right? Now, this is a way of stating clearly for whom you work again, what problem do you solve and how you solve it, right? The other important thing that you need to do on your website so that clients will contact you is to showcase your authority in this, right? You need to answer the question why they should choose you, right? And you can build authority by speaking about numbers. So I created hundreds of logotypes for this and these brands, right? So showcasing clients or past clients is also a way of building authority, showing your credentials, what are the things that you have accomplished in your career. If you're an award-winning lettering artist or illustrator, you can state it on your website, which clients you have worked for, I mentioned before, and also this, which is something that most artists don't include in their website, which is essential to build authority and create rapport with the visitors of your website and potential clients, which is including testimonials. You will want to include testimonials of your clients, people that have worked for you, that have had an amazing experience, that have gotten an amazing results, and they want to speak wonders about you. So you will want to contact those clients and get their testimonial saying, working with Sandra, working with John was freaking amazing. He delivered an outstanding cover for our bestseller, blah, 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 right? And you want to have them saying that on your website with their photograph, right? And with their name. You want to have those three elements to that testimonial so that you can create authority, for a potential client that is visiting your website. Reading the success stories of past clients helps them imagine that for themselves. They think, okay, if this person has done it for other people, they will accomplish the same for me, right? And this is how powerful testimonials are. And I know that I hadn't included them for a long time in my portfolio, and I regret that I haven't done it for a long time. And now my website is full of testimonials of students and people I work for, and they really serve the purpose of creating, first, building my authority. I've done this, I've done it successfully, and second, helping my potential clients or customers imagine that future for themselves, right? Now, the other thing you want to include in your portfolio is that you want to show them how you solve their problem. In your case, as a lettering artist or illustrator, your work will be the solution for their problem, right? And you want to showcase your work in a way that resonates with them. So back to the example of the illustrator, if you are creating covers for publishing houses and authors, then how can you showcase your work in a way that resonates with them? So creating mock-ups of your designs onto book covers, on real books, right? Or taking pictures of previous book covers that you have created and add it on your portfolio, right? So you need to show them how you solve their problem by showing previous projects you have worked on, whether those are self-initiated projects or projects you have made for fun or projects you have done for other clients, right? Now, again, let's wrap up all the things that we have discussed through this podcast episode. Remember, again, your website, your portfolio should be a tool for you to make a living as a lettering artist or illustrator. And as a tool, it should serve the purpose of having customers or clients contact you, right, and hire you. So the mistakes you want to avoid are that you don't get too techy, that if you want to build your portfolio, you just go get a subscription on a website builder and you just get that done, right? Don't try to figure or crack the code of the internet and of the HTML code. Just go and use the easiest tool. There's tons of tools out there, and go get one of those tools and get your portfolio done as soon as possible. The mistake number 2 that you want to avoid is that you don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't come up with or try to avoid anything that comes out of the standard of navigation, in terms of where the menu bar is located, in terms of animations, and in terms of features of your website that don't really add any value to your customers. And try to create a website that is really clear to navigate, so that your potential clients don't experience analysis paralysis, which is this concept we spoke about, we discussed, which has to do with if I don't understand where to go, if I'm too confused, I don't take action. I don't contact this person. I leave this website right away. And this is exactly the opposite of what you want. And the mistake number 3 that you want to avoid is that you don't try to include everything, that you don't try to add your Instagram account and your Twitter feed and your work for clients, pictures of your family, your story, when did you go to college, and all that stuff. Make your website very streamlined. Include only the things that are important for your customers to take action. And those are 3 things. State clearly who you work for, what problem you solve, and how you solve it. State that clearly at the top above the fold of your website. Showcase your authority in this. Use numbers, how many illustrations you have created for other people, the logotypes of past clients, credentials, and include testimonials. Don't forget testimonials. And number 3, show them how you solve their problem. And you do it in a way that it resonates with them. Showcase your work in a way that really resonates with those clients you want to serve. So that is, if you want to serve publishing houses, then show your covers or the covers that you have created in the past on mockups that, immediately by visiting your website, I realize, okay, this person is specialized in designing book covers. So now is your turn. Whether you're building a portfolio from scratch or you already have a portfolio, I hope these strategies or these mistakes that we have discussed throughout this episode will help you tweak and improve and optimize whatever you have. And if you're starting your portfolio from scratch, then it will give you already an idea of what are the things that you need to avoid when putting your portfolio online. Thank you for listening today, and see you on the next episode of Open Studio. Bye-bye. So this is it. I hope you loved this episode. You can find me, the host of the show, on social networks at Martina Flor on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you have a question or comments, go to martinaflor.com/podcast, where you can see previous episodes, find show notes, and send voice memos with your comments and questions. You can also watch these episodes on YouTube. Just go to martinaflor.com/YouTube to find them. You can, of course, listen to all our episodes on your favorite podcast platform. If you loved this episode, subscribe to this podcast. And if you leave us a review, it will help others find us. Thank you all for listening, and see you in the next episode of Martina Flor's Open Studio. Bye-bye. Hey, learning and mastering hand lettering can be incredibly overwhelming and frustrating. However, a proven framework can help you see real progress, populate a portfolio with standout work, attract paid assignments, and become your source of income. Sign up for my upcoming free masterclass called A Roadmap to Master the Art of Hand Lettering and Unlock Your Full Potential as an Artist. Here are what previous students have said about it.
Hi, my name is Joke and I'm a lettering artist from the Netherlands. I always thought I knew about letter forms and how to create them. But somehow, whenever my lettering was off, I never quite knew what it was or how to correct it. I now feel a lot more confident in my lettering and I know what to look for. I know how to correct my own mistakes. And it's amazing.
Sign up now through the link in the description of the episode. I'll see you there.